Next game natin, no? Bataan sa Binyan, magandang laban yan, no?
Oh, yes. That's gonna be a good one right here in Kamalig.
Dito may quarter scoring, Coach Mike. Lahat north of 20 points, Batangas. Lahat south of 20 points naman for Muntinlupa.
Ang mas concerning dyan, Ken, pababa eh. Diba? I mean, they barely got to 10 points. Kinakailangan pa yung perimeter jump shot kanina ni Domark Matellano, but I think the defense of Batangas has to do with this. Guys are second guessing themselves, even if, you know, situations where they are comfortably in a spot where they can score.
And when you look at the string of losses nitong Muntinlupa, couple of those, they didn't even reach 50 points against San Juan and Binyan.
Oo, at saka laki ng spread eh. Ang laki ng difference ng the plus minus is really big. Double digits from the Jensan game all the way to the Pasay game. The good news is when it got to the Binyan and the Pasig game, you know, below 10 points na yung spread. So, meaning very recoverable. Pero, you know, they still weren't able to get over the hump. But right now, the way it looks, parang ganun ulit yung trend eh.
And Coach Mike, during that really solid stretch they had where they were 10-2, I think at one point, almost 40% shooting from 3-point distance sila eh, but that has plummeted big time. They're only now shooting 31%, which is still good. But imagine the percentage they had during those string of losses as Patrick Ramos is trying to win his team back-to-back baskets rather, including that one and a free throw coming up.
And yan ang importanteng kailangan talaga mula dito kay Patrick Ramos. Kinakailangan na niyang tumahin ang depensa and to bring that energy. I don't think there's a guy in the cagers right now that's bringing the energy, telling everyone, okay, come on now guys, let's go and start competing, start defending, give ourselves a chance to win here.
Meanwhile, Batangas hell-bent on bouncing back from that disappointing loss against Caloocan. Kung tutusin, itong Muntinlupa, natulungan na din sila eh, kasi last games nitong Batangas, Jensan, Basilan, Mindoro, lahat talo. Mga kadikit nila sa standings. And Basilan has a tough matchup coming up this weekend.
Yeah.
Against Quezon.
Exactly.
And those two teams, talking about Muntinlupa, Basilan, they will face off in September in what could be
a
deciding game na either, as Unila Rim knocks down another three, could either, based sa format natin ngayon, Coach Mike, baka yung matalo doon, bumagsak sa 9 and 10, do or die match, yung mananalo could end up for that 7 to 8 play-in spot matchup. At least kasi sa 7 and 8, kahit matalo ka, meron ka pa isang matchup.
Correct.
Kung sa 9 and 10, talo ka, wala
You're
na.
out. You're gone. Right?
Yun yung beauty ng play-in eh.
Pero ang mabigat rin nun kung oh wow, what a play by JUMPBALL.
Wala na, kumpiyansa na talaga eh.
Kumpiyansa na talaga. But going back to that conversation, let's say hypothetically, any team, let's not name anyone, you get past the play-in and you get number 8, you still will have to contend with number 1. And so you know, every team that you face, for the most part, will be in the top 4 and you won't have home court advantage. But if you get past that and win it all, then you would have really deserved to be crowned as the champs this season.
Jera Flores, the epitome of their struggles, had a hot start to the season, but boy, it has been a huge struggle for him during this losing streak. Batangas, meanwhile, they've won 5 of their last 6 games. Their last outing against Caloocan, Atienza got fouled, and he will head to the line.
And you see right now, because of this lead, it's just, you know, careful execution by the Batangas Rum Masters, understanding that time is on their side, understanding that momentum is on their side, and really just trying to execute really good sets defensively and being disciplined defensively towards the final buzzer of this match.
Naman nakakatuwang kwento dito kay Daniel Atienza, no? Such an underdog. 5'8". He won 3 championships with the Mpbl Pops. But he missed the championship series against Ateneo back in 2017 because he dislocated his shoulder, desperately wanted to play, and that really caught the eye of then head coach of NU, na si Coach Jamaic Harin. And eventually, well, before even that, as a foul whistled, kung si Daniel Atienza ba matatawagan dito?
Yeah, that's called as an unspoke.
Yun lang, no? We were talking about him, but
Yeah.
you know, that doesn't take away the fact how impressive he was, because he was really flying under the radar, Coach Mike. And then naglaro pa yan sa Valenzuela in the Mpbl, got cut, and then Coach Jamaic was the head coach of Phoenix. Ito yung landing spot mo, kaya unsportsmanlike foul. Gave him a chance with Phoenix in the PBA. He played there, and well, even though he played sparingly, was still impressive. And then that really caught the eye of Coach Cholo.
Yeah.
And ngayon, he's part of this key playoff run they currently have in Batangas City.
Yeah, cliche as it may seem, but you hire for attitude and you train for skills, and that seems to be what, you know, in my opinion, Coach Jamaic liked about Atienza, and just the complete, you know, desire to be able to play a game that he loves, and to realize that, to play in there with for Phoenix, I'm sure, you know, ang ganda ng experience yun para sa kanya.
Mendoza, mintis yung 3. Lloyd Cabegin with a short stab.
Lloyd. Homegrown from Muntinlupa. Pretty much deadly around that area.
Yun yung mga gusto niya, no? Yung mga 10, 12 foot jumpers sa gilid.
Yes. But the only thing about yung laro niya dito sa Mpbl is that the guys are bigger and stronger than him. Dito sa mga local leagues, he pretty much is too strong for anyone. But in here, he's got to contend with guys, if not the same his size, but stronger than him.
Tsaka mabibilis.
Tsaka mabibilis, that's right. Iba yung athleticism pagdating dito. Tsaka yung contact, the way that they allow contact here in the Mpbl.
Kaya nasusubukan din yung depensa niya, yung foot speed niya.
Correct.
Keeping up with those more agile players at his position.
Lalo na sa cross matches. Oh, man.
Ganda nung pagdadissect ng depensa doon ni Brian Mendoza.
I say give the ball to Brian Mendoza and let him operate.
82-56, Mendoza with 13 points. Unila Rim dancing with Lloyd Cabegin. Kita mo yung ginagawa ng Batangas, no? Still sticking to what they've been doing so well, which is dish out those passes.
Yung pasa na yun ni O'Neal Arim, that's called a post skip. Some call that a pitch. And so it allows the ball to go under the defense with a big man underneath. If he's got a shot from that range, he can actually take it. If not, that he can still put the ball on the floor once and then attack the rack for a finish.
Coach Cholo asking for a challenge. And we'll have the results sa aming pagbabalik.
The review for the challenge was inconclusive and it has been nullified. We will stand on the last call. Muntinlupa basketball.
Coach Cholo na piling dahil inconclusive yung naging resulta nung kanyang challenge na hiniling dun.
I have always admired Coach Cholo's play calls and signals, but I love that reaction of him. Nakita mo talaga siya frustrated, pero okay na, ayaw na natin. And that just shows composure for you.
Yeah. And alam mo, I have to be candid here because my wife once covered him in another league noong 2022. And hindi daw malimutan niya yung sinabi ni Coach Cholo sa kanya na when he was a player, he knew he wasn't the best, he wasn't the most athletic, but he really tried to outsmart his opponents. But ginabitan niya talaga ng utak kasi si Kurt Lohera score, another former Green Archer. And si Coach Cholo hindi din naging madali yung kanyang journey and his collegiate career as see that shot there from JUMPBALL. Dahil nagsimula siya 2001, won a championship but sat out for a couple of years, came back, and alam mo, ganda nung naging tapos siya ng karera niya, no? Won a championship back in 2007 where he was named, because he was so impressive during that final series, was named the finals MVP with JV Casio when they won the championship against the UE Red Warriors, a team that went 14-0 in the elimination round. Pero dahil sa magandang performance ni Coach Cholo during that series, they were able to sweep them 2-0 and winning that title.
And it helps that, growing up, Coach Cholo has a teacher as a mom. Alam ko yung mom niya teacher pa o principal, because back in the pandemic we actually guested him in our podcast Bounce Pass. We talked a lot about basketball and about his early beginnings, and he always never failed to mention about the support that he's getting from his mom. And even now, you follow his social media account, you see sometimes papakita niya yung little bit of what the mom is doing, little bit of jokes, and you see the greetings on the mom's birthday. And I think that has helped, including the other coaches that has handled Coach Cholo, that has helped Coach Cholo a lot in being this well-rounded person that he is. And I will always remember that interview by Mika, and we got goosebumps on that interview with him coming back from that operation and to coach again Batangas.
And right now they're enjoying a 23-point lead. VJ Larcon with a free. Mintes, Maloria continues to score, making up for lost time.
I think that's the thing about this game for Batangas. It's different guys taking over. Well, one could say that Levy Hernandez started things off, but to be finishing off with other guys like JUMPBALL right there, snatching that offensive rebound and that putback, just shows you the different layers of commitment and engagement that these players have shown here for the Rum Masters.
Kung titingnan mo kasi kung paano tumakbo yung season nila so far, it's a very stark contrast. You remember Batangas, at one point there were a lot of questions on whether they can still contend. They were 3-4, I think 5-7. Then they found a switch. They were able to beat teams like Binyan and Pampanga, and they were able to rectify everything, and as a result, they're pretty much in the thick of things in the South. Samantala, Muntinlupa, like we alluded to, ang ganda nung simula, 10-2, was at one point was running at number 1.
Correct.
And now with this impending loss, for the first time this season, they will be below 500, 10-11.
That's right. And this is going to be the first time that they will go below 500. Well, we talked about, there were actually two teams at the start of the season that we talked about very similar situations. We talked about Zamboanga And also the same case that, you know, they started out really good. Baka benefit of the schedule lang yan or what have you. But Zamboanga has proven, you know, we're in the thick of things and we're definitely here to compete. Ironically, for Muntinlupa, when the going got tough, you know, it got tougher to even get a win. And so now for all the Muntinlupa fans, really the hope is at the very least to get to the top 10 and get themselves into the playoffs. And clearly when I talked to Coach Vincent Harder and Coach Gino earlier, they said walang nagbago sa aim namin just at the very start of the season. Regardless of kung ilan yung pinanalo namin ngayon, ilan yung tinatalo namin ngayon, pareho pa rin yan, Coach. We want to get into the playoffs this season.
At dahil nga sa magiging talo nila dito, Coach Mike, they will fall down to 10 and 11. Imus is and Sarangani, I believe, is at 8 and 13. 8 and 12 naman yung Davao. So they're dangerously falling into a situation where they will have to win the remaining games and avoid being eliminated outright, as Nicky Perez, homegrown University of Batangas Brahman, under Coach Arnold Contorno, knocks down that jumper. And so, lang nga, Coach Mike.
Yeah, and so short of saying that, how hot they started the season is definitely going to be dependent on how hot they end the season. That determines whether they get into the playoffs or not.
And also there looming is the Cebu Greats.
That's right.
Who won big against Gensan. And maraming kaguluhan pa pwedeng maganap dyan for that 10th spot in the South. But speaking of South, this guy, his game has gone all the way up north. Levy Hernandez, our best player of the game, brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the Mpbl. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
Well, pretty much Levy Hernandez started it very early in the first quarter. He first started scoring, then he started dishing. Got off in the second quarter, allowed the other guys to perform on the floor. Came back alongside Ambuluto, Donochea, Marco Lyon, and brought the finishing touches that helped spread that lead and eventually an unrecoverable situation for Muntinlupa.
Our final score, 68 for the Muntinlupa Cagers, 89 for the Batangas City Tanduay Rum Masters, who will improve to 13 and 8.